Now I am going to discuss on hull insurance part 1, chapter 7. This is the chapter the students will learn about the categorization and classification of the vessels. The students will also learn about various hull insurance policies, subsidiary interest, and various institute clauses related to hull covers. So basically, it is classification of vessels and insurance of hull and machinery and subsidiary interest. Book has given a classic story. This is about the motor tanker Omavati Prem. The owners of this Omavati Prem were marketer, and this is 2012 case. She was assigned to bring 85,000 metric ton of crude oil from Iran to India. Now the issue was because of the sanctions, the European insurance companies, they were not giving any cover. Also, there was no reinsurance cover available. Now it was very important from the Indian point of it, because this is the first ship nominated for bringing vessel from Iran. And what happened then, the Indian and Japanese companies put together, they said that yes, we will help, we will give the sort of reinsurance, etc. And then this government venture, they have helped this particular venture, you can say. The 50 million US dollars were insured by PNI Club, and $50 million hull and machinery interest, it was insured with the uh, United India Insurance Company, and there was totally government backup for this venture, and financial support was there. Hull insurance. When we say hull insurance, it refers to insurance of hull and machinery and other interest known as a subsidiary interest of ocean going, fishing and sailing vessels, trawlers and barges, etc. Basically, it is divided into, you can say, blue water and brown water. You can say in the harbor, ocean going, sea going, inland transit, inland transportation. Hull insurance for vessels when they are under construction is also, it is called the shipbuilder's risk policy, shipbuilder's risk insurance. So right from the construction stage to the demolition stage, hull and machinery insurance cover is granted and given. They are again what you say that during, of course, it is not a hull insurance, but even during breaking of a vessel, the insurance is given for the fire losses and basic losses, etc. There are certain special types of hull covers like charterers liability risk, ship repairers liability risk, etc. What is charterer? The person who is taking vessels on the hire. So there are again different types of charters, but whenever it is a bareboat charter, that means I am only taking a vessel without the crew, and the manning of the vessel and maintenance of the vessel is prerogative of the, if the that is the prerogative of bareboat charterer. That time even the insurance is granted to charterer. But otherwise, whenever it is given only for a time charter or a voyage charter, and then the crew, manning, maintenance, insurance, whenever it is on the with the owner of the vessel, then the charterer is not covered, but the charterer's liability is covered, provided he is not insured. His name is not along with the insured. So charterer's liability and ship repairer's liability is covered under the policy, but try to understand that they get a waiver of, they get a, the insurance company can claim the losses under subrogation, because there is a separate contract with charterer and the ship repairer. So their negligence, if it is proved by the owner of the vessel, there can always be case against them. So this is the about, you should know the various people connected in the trade, like stevedores. Even stevedore's liability is another insurance. Stevedore is the person who is loading and unloading a ship, and during this operation, if he is damaging the ship, it is covered under the stevedore's legal liability policy. So the hull insurance, This can be given on a voyage basis, or it can be given on a time basis for 1 year. It should not be more than 12 months. That is the requirement of the hull and machinery insurance policy. Now, what is required? Every ship must have registration certificate from competent authority. You must have the registration. Every vessels are registered. Okay. The subject matter of the vessel has to be ship. We call it vessel in merchant world. The ship is the warships basically, but it is a ship. The deadweight tonnage also refers to total weight carrying capacity of the vessel, cargo plus non-cargo weights, etc. There are certain features like you should know what is GT, gross tonnage. That is the total volume of the vessel. It is not the weight carrying capacity. It is a total gross volume of the vessel. Based on that, various pilotage and the port dues, etc. are levied. What is NT? It is a net tonnage of the vessel. The net tonnage is the net cargo carrying volume available, and various like wharfage or certain dock dues, etc. They are based on the net tonnage of the vessel. So, three important things. What is the deadweight tonnage? That is the carrying capacity, cargo plus non-cargo, etc. Then GT is the overall volume, the pilotage, towage, etc., which is considered even in the hull and machinery insurance. The gross tonnage is very, very important. In one of the earlier sections, also we have discussed about the classification society role. Then there is a classification society clauses incorporated in cargo policy and also in hull and machinery policy. See, what is classification society? It is an inspection agency, and they are actually right from the stage of designing, fabrication, construction, sea trials, and during the continuous operation of the vessel, they are inspection agency for that particular vessel. If the inspectors are good, the physical condition of the vessel would be good. So that is the reason there is a International Association of Classification Society, and there are 13 full-fledged members, associate members of that association. They are only accepted as a in the international fraternity as a class with IACS, because they are only approved. There may be 400 classification societies. There may be Sri Lankan class. There may be Bangladesh class. There may be Pakistan class. So there may be Dubai class. Whatever it is not recognized. They are not the member of IACS, so they cannot enjoy the certain, you can say, the concessions granted under the classification. So society must be member of International Association of Classification Societies. The Indian Register of Shipping is Indian class, IRS class. But then you try to understand that even if it is Indian class, if only Indian class is there, the Indian vessels do not get the buyers whenever the owner want to sell. To overcome of this problem, they are entered into a dual classification. So they are along with the Nippon class, they are with the LR class, they are with the BV and DNV and sort of thing. American Bureau. So there are with the some other classes. Sea and ocean going vessels are supposed to maintain class. It is not compulsory for inland vessels. Okay. But then those who are under the SOLAS safety, those who are under the IMB, then they must have it is a requirement of SOLAS, that is safety of life at sea, that you should have classification uh, approval. There are many survey. Classification is annual survey. You have to have twice dry docking in 5 years of period. There is continuous machinery survey. So they are continuously inspecting the vessel in order to see that the vessel is in good condition. That is to avoid pollution, avoid the property losses, avoid the loss of crew. All these things are due to with the help of classification society. Sea and ocean going vessels are supposed to maintain class. In general, small sundry vessels are not meant, it is not expected, it is not compulsory, and also it is expensive for the smaller vessels. So there are the section of inland barges, sections of harbor tugs, sections of fishing vessels and the sailing vessel. They are not maintaining any class. But otherwise, classification society is a very important factor. It is a very important agency in totally cargo and hull and machinery insurance. See, basically, owner of the vessel, he is having a contract with shipyard to build a ship or construct a ship to meet international regulations. It is not that the ship can be just constructed the way you want it. No. So there are classification society rules which should adhere to that. There are IMO, International Maritime Organization, international conventions on the various construction. Then there are administration special requirements specified. So there is a national flag is specifying, IMO is specifying. So it should be safe. It should be safety for vessel, safety for cargo, safe for carriage of own property, safe for sea. So everybody's safety is checked at the time of fabrication and construction of the vessel. The shipyard and designer provide design to class for approval. So whatever is the design of it, there are standard designs, there are sister ships. That means the identical ships are being constructed. But then these designs are approved by classification society in every respect. Not only that, whatever material, suppose steel plates, mile steel angles, roll section, machinery, anchors, chain, you just name it, electrical installations, navigational, everything is subject to inspection. Every atom is subject to inspection. So if I am going for inspection of a steel plates, I will draw samples, I will check it up, I will see the test certificate issued by the supplier. So there are everything, whatever goes, it is as per the standard prescribed by classification societies and particular standard. Every societies are more or less ICA standards, they are following it. So the class surveyors, what they do? They inspect, they test, approve materials, approve components, approve hull and machinery and statutory items. Then the ship is delivered to owner. The sea trials are taken. Sea trials are witnessed. There are certain suggestions, the things are given by classification society, they are adhered to. So, when everything is delivered as per the requirement of classification society to their satisfaction, then they give a classification and statutory certificate in place, which is required. If there is no class or the class is withdrawn, the RTC hull policy is automatically cancelled. So, hull, the classification is very, very important in the hull and machinery insurance. Ship is subjected to periodic surveys. The annual surveys are there, and the ships are live to maintain classification and statutory certification. You see, there are dry dock surveys. That means the vessel is taken it on dry dock for bottom inspection, for the inspection of propellers, rudders, and underwater structure. So, but then the period is twice you have to dry dock in 5 years of period. Ship reaches the end of life and then she is going for recycle. So the funeral voyage is also insured on a voyage policy basis. Up to beaching, the vessel is insured. Then there are coastal vessels, sundry hull. There are coastal vessels, that means it is going from say Mumbai to Goa, Mumbai to Jamnagar, Bhavnagar, from Kandla to Chennai, Kandla to Visakhapatnam, Visakhapatnam to maybe Lakshadweep Islands. Lakshadweep Islands are Indian only, Andaman Islands. But the coastal vessels, they are smaller in size. Then they are not, they are maybe 99% of these vessels may not be adhering to the rules of classification. Then there are vessels like barges. Now, barges you will find 99% barges are flat bottom. So, they are not designed for ocean going. It is only for the inland transportation from anchorage to say factory, plant or sort of things. Then there are fishing vessels. Fishing vessels are also right from the one-day fishing to the fishing factories, those who are going for month bigger one. But the sundry fishing vessels, which is a wooden vessel, it could be mild steel, smaller one, less than 50 feet in length, or made of fiber reinforced plastic, or what do they say, GRP, glass reinforced plastic. So these are sundry hull, they are not coming under the fishing vessel. The prices is slightly less. So you have to consider that you can group into two parts. One is sundry, other is blue water vessel. Those are ocean going and sea going vessels. So what are the features of sea going vessel? They are general cargo vessels, more than 500 gross tonnage. When I say general cargo vessel, you can have the different type of vessels for different type of cargo. Say for example, for a liquid bulk, there are tankers. Then for the dry bulk cargo, there is the bulk carriers. For a break bulk cargo, there could be twin deckers. Nowadays, they are bringing into bulk vessels only. Then there are containerized cargo, so container vessels. So these are the different. Then over-dimensional cargo, so you will have a different ship for having higher capacity crane for loading, unloading. There may be a single hold for a larger cargo storage, etc. So seagoing vessels are designed considering what is the type of cargo. Then what is say that there are liner vessels. Liner vessels mean they are operating on a advertised and scheduled route. This is they are considered as a better in maintenance, etc. because you have to maintain a schedule. Because people are waiting with the cargo and the vessel should come in time. I should load the cargo, it should go in time. So everything is adhered by liner vessels. The tramp shipping, they are only operating on charter trade or a trade like that. They pick up cargo, say coal from Australia, bring it to India, take some cargo from India, say for example salt, and then they go to Bangladesh. It's like that, it's a tramp. It is not a fixed route. Whenever cargo is available, they go there, pick up cargo, and naturally they will try to see available cargo at that particular place for taking it somewhere else. Otherwise, it is a ballast voyage. They have to go on empty voyage for taking cargo to the next port. The dry bulk carriers, they carry dry bulk cargo like, as I said, sulfur, coal, rock phosphate, soda ash, fertilizers in bulk, various commodities in bulk. Earlier, wheat was imported in bulk. So, this is the dry bulk cargo. The method of assessment of cargo is by draft survey. Then there is a liquid bulk carriers for carriage of liquid bulk cargo. It starts from the crude oil. Crude oil tankers ULCC, ultra large crude carrier, can carry 5 lakh tons. VLCC, very large crude carrier, around 3 lakh tons. Then there are different sizes of the vessel. Person should know Panamax, Aframax, Suezmax. And then there are various types of the vessel for carriage of liquid bulk tankers. So crude oil, then there is a petroleum products, then there are the edible oil, there are chemicals, there are gases, LPG, LNG, butane, etc. So these type of cargo, the gases also, they come as a refrigerated condition. That is a minus temperature. At minus temperature, the gas is in liquid form, but the cargo is in liquid form. Cargo is also in a gas form. So these are the liquid cargo which is regularly imported. There are super tankers, as I said. There are VLCC, very large crude carrier. There are ultra large crude carriers. So you should know about the different types of vessel, the peculiarities. Design, every vessel is having a different type of accidental pattern. The dry bulk cargo is having possibility of cracking opening over a period of time. The cargo can have liquefaction and total loss of the vessel. There could be spontaneous combustion. The tankers, nowadays it is compulsory to have double hull tankers to avoid pollution. Because pollution rules are very strict. Nothing should leak out at the time of loading, unloading, and during voyage. So all these things are considered. Okay. One can understand about the vessel once you know the function of that vessel. The floating is one function, moving is other function, carriage of cargo is third function. What type of cargo you are going to carry? This is very, very important, and the nature of cargo will suggest you how the vessel will look like. There are combination carriers. Combination carriers will be for ore and oil, something like that. The uh, uh, OBO, what they call it, ore and bulk carrier, etc. Then there are container vessels. Then there is a oversized, that is over-dimensional cargo, oversized cargo vessel. The peculiarity will be the side tanks will be provided for buoyancy, and then middle only one section, one hold is there with full of watertight integrity, and that is for the loading. There are different type of over-dimensional cargo carriers. There are various different methods are there, types are there. There are some of the oversized cargo carriers are too huge, and the method of lifting of they go under vessel and they pick it up, they lift it up, a floating vessel. So these are the different types of oversized, over-dimensional cargo carrier vessels. The lighter about ship. This is in a way discontinued, at least in Indian market, uh, in Mumbai market. Earlier, when I joined this industry in 81, I have seen lash barges. It is a lighter about ship. It was something like this. It is a barge, dump barge of 500-ton capacity, and then the vessel used to the lash barge carrier. The used to come at anchorage, and then they used to unload the barges. You can say that they are releasing barges in floating condition. They are towed to the shore with the cargo, and then these loaded barges are again put in that vessel. So this is the lighter. It is a barge carrier. That means there will be 10, 15, hundreds of barges inside with a capacity of 500 tons, 600 tons, and then the cargo is carried in the barge. See, the idea of having this type of vessel, that the turnover period of the vessel is reduced. See, if I am taking a time for a dry bulk vessel loading, say 30 days for loading and 30 days for unloading, so how many trips they can do it in a year? How economical freight will be? So when in order to reduce the turnover time, they started thinking. So the lash came initially. So I am not waiting. My vessel is not waiting. The lash barges is having less value. They can be kept at particular port. Then came the containers. So container vessels are offloading, unloading containers in 2, 3, 4 days, and they can carry right up to 15,000 containers. And then see, the vessels are not waiting. So the idea is to have minimum crew, everything modernization, and then to have the the maximum turnover period in the sea. I can't be waiting at the port, waiting for coming alongside, and then waiting for unloading, and then unloading takes time, then loading takes. No, so container vessels. So lighter about ship, the next has come, roll on, roll off. So this is the motor carrier, automobile carrier. So my vehicles are directly driven into the vessel, and then they are going there. Cattle carrier. Actually, I have seen in Dubai market, Bahrain market, cattle carrier. In Indian market, we have not seen any cattle carrier. Then there are passenger vessels. What is passenger vessels? It's a luxury hotel, floating hotels basically. Even they call it some flotels are only anchored at one particular place, but the luxurious passenger vessels with all 5-star, 7-star, or multiple stars facility on board, they are luxury cruise with cabins and multiple the restaurants, etc. So you understand the cargo is it's a special, it's a passenger. They are carrying passenger. So comforts of passengers is seen. The cabins, accommodation, hotels, food, bars, restaurant, everything is there on board. Swimming pools, the we can say the gym, the billiard tables and pools, everything is available on these passenger vessels. So these are the various types of ship person should know, because considering the whether you are giving a total loss or you are giving a comprehensive cover or it is only TLCTL, there are various parameters are checked. But try to understand. So there are, the first thing is there are fishing vessels, the smaller one, not ocean going or sea going. There could be few mild steel construction fishing vessels, not that they are not there. But otherwise 99% fishing sector is a smaller one. It is only inland, and there are different type. One day fishing to Persian nets fishing or a trawl net fishing. So it may be up to 15 days maximum they go and see and come back. Cable ship for laying cables, etc. There are research ships, maybe for hydrographic survey or any oceanographic survey. So these ships are there. So ships which are keep the sea lane open. What is sea lane open? You require dredges. I want to see the depth of in port should be maintained, so vessels of larger draft depth can come to my port. So I am dredging the whatever is siltation. Every time the rivers will bring silt also, and then the depth of that particular port is reduced, and I keep on dredging to maintain whatever I have promised, that so much of depth of water will be available for incoming vessels and outgoing vessels. Survey ships, as I said, their hydrographic survey is carried out. There are icebreakers. Whenever I am going to the Antarctic, etc., I require icebreakers. Then there are tugs. They are not carrying cargo, but tugs are there. There are different type of tugs. Sea-going tugs are there for towage. There are harbor tugs for helping maneuvering the vessels inside port. There are salvage tugs. So there are different types of tugs, but they are not carrying cargo. They have higher capacity engine, and they are pulling, pushing, etc. to the different type of vessels. That is the main function. Carriage of cargo. All these vessels, those who are providing service, the function is not to carry cargo. So the shape is different. The function is different. So you look at the function and then you try to envisage what all the equipments are required. Then ships which can carry things, which can carry, you can say, things like cargo. So there are passenger vessels. Then there are long distance passenger vessels. There are short distance ferries. Say for example, from Mumbai to Uran, there are ferry boats. From Mumbai to Alibag, there are ferry boats. So there are all short distance launches and ferry boats are there. There are hovercrafts. Hovercrafts also, they are known as a air cushion vehicles. There are hydrofoil vessels, smaller one, but they are all basically not for the carriage of cargo. The function is maybe luxurious, maybe the big billionaires and multinational companies, they have their own luxury boats for the luxury purpose, whatsoever it is. But then they have this type. Then there is a general cargo carrier. What is general cargo carrier? General cargo is a unit load. So reels, newsprint reels, coils, rolls, cartons, boxes, project cargo, which can be counted. Containers also, there are container vessels, but then the vessel is different. Then there is a barge carrying ship. We already said it is a lighter about ship. Then there are roll on roll off or load on load off, etc. Lolo or Roro, what you call. Then there is a break bulk consignments. So what is a break bulk? Break bulk. These are only break bulk is the coils, things which can be counted. Then there are tankers. Tankers are carrying what? Crude carriers. There's the refined products like edible oil, etc. And then there can be gas carriers, LPG, LNG, butane, etc. There could be chemical carriers. There could be combination carriers, ore and oil, ore bulk and oil, OCO, all these, oil cargo and oil. So these are the combination vessels. They have two different type of cargo. So there is a dry bulk consignment. This is also known as a dry bulk consignment. There is a timber carrier, separately designed, because they have timber below deck, above deck, and side also. There is a specially designed for carriage of timber. There are specialist vessels like chemical carrier, beer carrier, wine carrier. Wine carrier, beer carrier, etc. will have the stainless steel tank. Pharmaceutical grade, say castor oil. I have seen a stainless steel tanker for the castor oil export from India. So this is very, very important to know different types of these ships. So what are the policies available for the hull and machinery insurance? Then there is a policy for hull and machinery, policy for the freight which is at stake. Then there is a method of how, when the policy is cancelled, the vessel is sunk, if there is a return of premium. Then there is a shipbuilder's risk. There is a loss of hire insurance also. Yes, because of perils operative. If I have to go to dry dock for a longer period, then the loss of hire insurance is also given. It is not that popular in Indian market, but then Dubai market is still giving loss of hire insurance. The war and strike risk are also covered. Disbursement insurance. What is the disbursement? That means if my vessel is lost to sea, then when I'm procuring a new one, I may not get at the same rate. When the vessel is lost to sea, my fuel is at stake, which could be quite considerable, maybe 400 tons, 300 tons or something like that, which is very, very expensive. Then also the crew wages will be at stake. So then the new vessel procurement, I will have to go for a registration process, classification process. So there are additional expenses which is not, the hull and machinery insurance will not take care of my uh, fuel oil separately. But then there are a couple of things which is at stake. So that is given as a additional disbursement policy. Up to 25% are granted, up to sum insured. It is granted by the Indian underwriters. So whenever there is a, say for example, it is something like this. The vessel is costing 10 crore rupees. And if it is a total loss, disbursement of another 2.5 crore will be allowed. So at the time of total loss, the insurance company will pay them total 12.5 crores, because these 25% are given for after total loss. It is not available for a particular average. The premium reducing insurance. This insurance premium under hull policy is insured separately. The policy covers loss of premium against total loss and constructive total loss. The indemnity reduces on monthly pro rata basis, that is 1/12 per month. Then there is a ship's repairs liability. When the ship repairing is having any problem or if it's making any errors, the and if the losses are there which is attributable to the negligence of ship repairer, it is covered under the hull and machinery policy, but that is then under the letter of subrogation, there is every possibility that insurance company will pursue recovery. Then there is a charterer's liability insurance. This is also similarly like ship repairs liability, and it is covered under the policy, hull and machinery policy, but then it can be pursued under letter of subrogation by insurance company. Then there is a loss of profit insurance also, because the vessel is at peril and she has to be dry docked immediately, and she is loss of charter. So there is a loss of profit insurance is also provided for the vessels. As I said that this is not that popular with the Indian hull and machinery underwriters, but from Dubai market, our vessels are getting this type of policies also. The Institute Time Clauses Hull 11083 it was drafted. There are totally 26 Institute Time Clauses are studied under different heads. There is a head risk covered. There is a head risk excluded. There is a head amount payable under the policy. There is a collision liability head and section. There is a claim procedure section. There are warranties incorporated in the policy, and there are some certain sections miscellaneous. So under these heads, the 26 ITC clauses have been distributed. The hull policy is also a named peril policy, and then clause number 6 is taking care of different perils covered. For example, fire and explosions are covered. The latent defect becoming patent, it is covered. Jettisoning of the cargo, it is covered. The boiler explosion, the damages to the latent defect becoming patent, which is covered. The crew negligence is covered. So the perils covered are listed in the policy. Clause number 7 is discussing about pollution hazard. To minimize pollution, if there is a government agency to mitigate loss, pollution loss, if they are making any damages to vessel in order to reduce uh, pollution, these damages are covered under the hull and machinery policy. Then there is a general average. General average could be with cargo, it could be ballast voyage general average also. So general average is also covered under this clause number 11. Clause number 14, it is indicating there is no on repairing, there will not be any depreciation attracted. It is new forward, no depreciation deduction. And that is the reason you will find the deductible is kept at higher side, but then there is no depreciation. The vessel has to be insured on market value basis. The repairing charges are paid without any depreciation, but it should be a reasonable cost of repairing. Then there is a bottom treatment. Say for example, bottom treatment, cleaning, etc., or the anti-fouling paint. These are not covered under the policy. Whatever the portion is in damaged condition, only that much of first coat of primer paint is allowed in the, and subsequently paint damages are only covered, not the entire bottom cleaning, painting, anti-fouling painting, etc. Then the wages and maintenance is covered only during general average and during the removal of vessel from the place of distress to the repairing place, etc. So this is otherwise wages and maintenance is not covered under the policy. So I said there are 26 clauses in ITC Hull 11083. They are distributed or they are divided into multiple sections. 23 is war exclusion, 24 is strike exclusion, and 25 is malicious act exclusion. What I say that you take out when you are reading this book, when you are reading these sections, take out the policy, read all clauses in totality. If you have any doubts, you are at liberty to telephone me. Find out my telephone number. Any insurance company, Hull division will give it to you. You find it out and you can telephone to me. I can talk to you and explain you things. Clause number 8. This is indicating the 3/4 collision liability. So it is trying to tell you that 3/4, if the liability is there, you have to carry out 3/4, you have to pay 3/4 collision liability. This is the insurance cover. But who decides the degree of blame? The degree of blame, that means once you appoint a surveyor for vessel under collision, which is insured with you, the surveyor should be carrying out survey of both the vessels. The vessel which is making contact and also your vessel, take the statement of both master of the vessel. There is every possibility the third one may not, he will not appreciate, he will not give you the details, etc. But then the liability is this, then this is to be informed to DG Shipping. DG Shipping will lodge a complaint against both the masters and degree of blame will be decided by the court. 50-50, 60-40, not to blame anybody. You have to take care of your own risk. There could be any award given by the court. But then the collision liability as such, or as such even crew negligence, it is not decided by the owner, it is not decided by the master of the vessel, but it is decided by the court. And then this is through the Director General of Shipping. First thing, he will carry out investigation and then the court will decide. Sister ship. That means the one company, the vessel is at peril. You require towing, you require some help. And then when my sister ships comes and then they are charging, it is to be considered as a separately somebody is coming and helping. And then whatever the expenses, even if I have sister ship, it is to be honored by the hull and machinery underwriters in order to, when they are acting to safeguard the venture or the vessel. These are the warranties. Clause number 1, navigation. You are permitted to sail, go to dry dock, go for helping to any other vessel in distress, but not to carry out salvage operation under contract, not to carry out the towage operation under contract. So this is in a way, it is a warranty imposed in the policy. Number 3 is a breach of warranty. Many times the breach of warranty is excused provided it has been informed to insurance company and additional premium paid. So this clause number 3 is referring to the breach of warranty. Clause number 21 is a disbursement warranty. As I said that the 25% of the hull H&M cover, it can be taken as a uh, disbursement in case of total loss and constructive total loss. The owner can claim, having insured this 25%, up to 25% it can be insured. The insurance company will pay at the time of total loss. Why disbursement? As I said that the procurement of vessel, the diesel which has lost, the crew wages, there are a couple of additional expenses on the with the owner, which is taken care by hull and machinery policy. The detailing you can read it in disbursement warranty. As I said, the last section is the miscellaneous clauses. So clause number 2 is continuation, clause number 4 is termination. So for example, change of flag, change of ownership, change of manager, change of classification society, all these things, there is a automatic bareboat charter. So a lot of things are discussed in this termination clause. So that means when my vessel is sold, the next management will not get the insurance automatically. The classification society is changed, it is terminated, then there is a termination of the policy also. So this clause number 4 is indicating, say, bareboat charter. The dump barges, they are given always on bareboat charter. The brokers and the insurance company should know that anything which is on bareboat chartered, there is a automatic termination. So while giving a policy to dump barges, the brokers and the insurance company and the clients and the the hull and machinery owners should take care at the time of taking insurance. Clause number 5 is related to the assignment of this policy, mortgaging of the policy, etc. The clause number 20 is taking care of the waiver of freight, which is not covered under this policy. And then the returns of for layup and cancellation is clause number 22, that whenever the vessel, there are certain vessels they are not permitted to lay up. But there are certain vessels, whatever is the reason, if they are laid up, maybe there is no charter available or whatsoever reason, then there can be the return of premium considering how much, what is agreed upon. So this is explaining about the 22 clause number 22, returns for layup and cancellation. Again and again I said that these clauses, nowadays we are still using 11083, although the clauses are amended from 95 and then subsequently 2003, we are still using 11083. In the book they will be asking questions on 11083. Take out the clauses, read them once, all the 26 clauses, mug it up so you understand. Understand one thing, it is a named peril policy, and in a ITC hull, port risk wreck removal is given as a P&I cover, but for a ocean going vessel, wreck removal is covered under the P&I cover, P&I clubs insurance. Thank you very much. This is the end of chapter 7, hull insurance part 1. As I said that if you have any questions on hull machinery cargo anywhere, you can find out my mobile number, telephone to me, you can ask me anytime. I'll be happy to help you to solve your doubts, be it from examination side, be it from your actual field. Thank you very much.